Welcome back. Not welcome back.
What?
God.
All right, I'm taking it again. I'm taking it again.
The fucking
new take.
Were they
I
here?
don't want to cut this out.
It's so good.
Here we go. You ready? Everyone quiet.
It's the image.
I've seen the monkey
quiet.
throwing the poop at the grandma.
Quiet.
Jake wants to show
Welcome
me
to
this.
Babble Lab.
No, we're
not doing
this.
it.
We're not
Okay.
doing
There
it.
it is.
We're gonna wait until the
I'm leaving this in.
We're wait. No,
Yeah.
I'm cutting it.
The poop is like swinging into her mouth. Look at that.
And the monkey. My favorite is the chimp. He looks so
He's like, oh yeah.
Oh, nailed her.
Got her.
So
He looks so satisfied. That'll never not be
He's like
funny to me.
yelling buckets as he threw it.
I can't even.
Babble Lab, episode 2.
Oh, here we go. She's got her hand on her chest, like, oh my stars. You know, she's almost the poop is almost.
That's a natural reaction when you have poop in your mouth, I think.
Well, it's not in her mouth
It's
yet.
almost in her mouth.
Yeah.
It's gotta be in her mouth if she keeps that shit.
My
up.
question is, how did you get it off of her nose? That's my main question.
Yeah, this is kind of a cliffhanger.
Yeah, that's
right?
like in
There's
there.
more to this story.
That's like when you get pied in the face.
Well, that's for episode 2. That's how they keep you hooked.
This is episode.
Oh, we're on episode 2.
This is episode 2.
no, the
separate
poop
show.
thing, the poop.
Yeah.
Oh, the poop show.
Talking about this epic
The poop podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for context, for anyone who's not in the room right now, which is probably most people who are listening to this,
Probably not.
assuming anyone outside of
It's mainly
this-
us
Yeah,
listening.
it's gonna be this group of 4 listening to it over and
He
over
didn't
again.
want to say foursome.
Would that make it
there's
an orgy?
we're coming off of a very exciting time in the world. There was recently a YouTube video, an expose of sorts of this this. I think it's like a bonobo. It's a chimp. It's some chimp.
An ape?
And it
Is it a chimp?
Yeah, I think it's a chimp.
It has the face of a gorilla and the size and proportions.
That's why I think
and
it's
the
a
mannerisms
bonobo.
of a
That's
Jake.
why I think it's a bonobo. But he
but
has
the
this-
aim of a sniper.
yeah, he's this perfect. He lobs this ball of shit on this old woman, and it's just the most perfect. Oh my god! I think
He nails her.
of all the things we've ever recorded on camera, all the people who have like the birth of their child on camera, all of it all fucking pales compared to this chimp just landing this fucking turd on this woman's nose from like a pit. He's like in a sunken pit. He's like 30 feet
He
below
gets a
her.
good run up.
This is like that water bottle flip.
It's a lot of time
He's
to
a bit of a
practice.
quarterback.
Jeff hit it perfectly when he said it was a granny shot. That's
right. It was
the way he
underhand.
threw it and the target both reinforced
It
that
was an
idea.
underhand shot, but it was a fluid underhand shot.
It was a
like,
really good shot.
like how I imagine. You remember who was the elf in Lord of the Rings? That Lego guy?
Legolas?
Oh no, that was the dwarf. Jesus.
Camelot.
Legolas.
No, I was still on the chimp, so I was thinking
But
dwarves.
the way that he would draw his arrow and shoot, it was like
Oh,
a
yeah.
fluid
It's
action,
very
right?
fluid.
This is clearly practice.
While
right?
running, too.
Yeah, well, while surfing on shields.
Oh, no, I meant the monkey.
Well, this monkey did the same kind of thing. The quiver being
his aunt.
the draw and fire was a fluid motion, right?
You know, and it looks like from the video,
he
it's
eats
a
his
little hard
fiber.
to, it's
Let's
a little
just
hard
say
to
that.
tell.
No, he doesn't.
Oh, no, he doesn't.
It looks like
No,
he's
there's
shit.
somewhere in between. I don't know.
It's very kind of.
Oh, never mind.
It makes almost a witch nose when it.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's-
yeah.
It makes a witch nose.
This is what makes the shot actually so impressive. Is
The lady
that
looks a bit like a
this particular fecal sample is not really ballistically ideal, right? Like
it's
you're
like
not
Play-Doh.
gonna,
It
you're
might
not
have
gonna
been at
get
one
a-
point.
you're gonna get a good tight spiral
It's like throwing
out of that.
flat Play-Doh. It's like throwing flat Play-Doh.
Which, I mean, I gotta say, you know, although I might be giving the chimp a little too much credit. We don't know how many times he tried that, you know?
That's true. He has
That
a lot
could've
of-
been-
he has a
that
lot of
could've
time
been-
on his hands.
He's got a little bullseye in the back of
Every
his
time he
cage.
sees a grandma in a wheelchair, he goes for it.
1,000-year-old woman that he saw.
I don't think he exclusively goes for grandmas.
Oh, sorry. If I
Well,
was
we
offensive.
don't know that.
Old women.
It's kind of-
They're not all grandmas.
Well, she was wheelchair bound, right? So it's not a moving target. you
oh,
know?
sure.
Yeah, she was less mobile than most. You know, he probably picked that target. I think he was smart enough to pick his target.
So for those of you joining us, once again, if you actually were able to sit through all of episode 1, welcome to episode 2. We were going to move on to our second segment in episode 1, but it was way too long. So here we are, episode
If I had a nickel.
2. How do you guys want to do this? Do you want to
every time
start
Jake was
off with
offensive?
another? What was it? What were we calling that segment? I didn't know that.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it, or do you want to go into the heard of it?
I think we
segment?
got to go into the herd
Let's
of it.
do something that we've all
Okay, let's swap it up. Let's go into heard of it, and then we'll come back to never heard of it.
This
Well, we
should-
had a never heard of it. We didn't get.
We
through,
had
right?
one never heard of it we didn't get to.
Fuck
so
it, let's just do it.
It should be the same amount of bullshit, but less ignorance. Is that fair?
Oh, no, I'm going way, way more.
for the
ignorant.
for the never heard of it or for the heard of it.
Heard of it?
Well,
I don't know. Let's just Cole, Dungeon Master Cole.
I
just do
almost
what
feel
you
like we
want.
want to finish up the never heard of
Yeah,
it.
I think we got to finish
and
it
then we'll
up.
finish strong with the heard of it.
Yeah.
There's only one never heard of it. We'll do this episode.
All right, let's do it.
I know you're really excited to talk about the
Let's
heard of
do it.
We have
Hey,
a very hot button issue to talk about.
It really grinds my gears.
I know it does. And that's why we need to talk about it. But I feel like we should get warmed up with a never heard of it.
Let's get through this.
You know, this
Let me
is-
just phone
this
in
is how the
whatever's on
world's
that piece of
problems
paper.
get solved. It's for
Okay, let's do the never heard of it. We're doing never heard of it. I made as host, I've made an executive decision that we are going to.
no,
being
look at
host
you.
make you in
Host or
charge?
executive?
Yes. Host and
I'm sorry, I don't
executive
remember
host
when
is
the
my full
board of
title.
directors fucking appointed you.
I'm executive host is the full title, but I don't use it because I don't want to belittle you guys. I don't want you to
That's
feel
true.
bad.
That's true. That's all right. Well, just shut up. I'll make your PowerPoint presentation. We'll just.
Hey,
Call back.
All right, here we go. It's only one topic, so
All right.
there's no real point in pulling out of this
Jeff,
my
you,
hand
you
hat.
can pull this one.
Out of-
let me
out of
Jake
the
and I
hat.
did the other two.
I want.
Yeah, there's
this
only one
this
choice, so
this
just go ahead and
yeah,
pick
yeah,
that
yeah.
one out of my hand. I mean the hat.
That's a long strip of paper.
Cry of the Hunted.
Cry of the Hunted?
That sounds amazing.
Cry of the Hunted.
This is a story about Native
This
Americans.
is clearly a
Cry
porno.
of the Hunted.
I think it's a book.
It's called Cry of the Hunted.
I would guess this is a book.
It's a vegan
Or-
book.
or possibly a movie.
A vegan book.
This is an animal rights thing. It's got to be.
Really? Cry of the Hunted?
Maybe.
Yeah,
Could
it's
be.
about developing empathy for our little food sources out there in the woods.
I'm getting kind of Jack London vibes off of it. A little,
Really?
a little Call the Wild. You know, Cry the Hunted, Call the Wild.
Well, there are several words that those titles share. So
You're right. Yeah.
There was definitely a the.
That's
in
probably
both
why
of
he's
those.
feeling that. Okay, then
Cry.
let me give you a clue. It is a film.
okay.
Any idea of the topic?
I was
the
right, it's a
genre?
porno.
The genre?
Porn.
It's not a porn.
No, I already went there, Jake.
It's
That's my
not a
joke.
porn. We already touched on that last episode. wasn't
Nothing's
porn
more erotic
necessarily.
than
Touched
crying.
porn?
What was that called again? What was that?
Nips a poppin'.
Poppin' nips.
Nudes a poppin'.
Nudes a poppin'.
Nudes a poppin'.
Nudes a poppin'.
It's Bobbin. Which we all booked our tickets for between these two episodes. So
Yeah, put on your cigarettes and vaginas.
Do you need
Yeah,
to?
did you? Well, we bought
Doesn't
an
seem very
RV.
regulated.
You have to have a fucking RV to go to
doesn't
that.
seem very regulated. All right.
But it's a pageant.
well, let me just pull up.
don't know.
Let me pull up the poster for Cry of the Hunted. There we go.
Oh, that looks
Yeah.
fucking sick.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
That looks like you guys ever seen the covers to that Men's Life magazine or whatever, where the guy's like weasels
only
rip my
you.
flesh, and it's the guy fighting all the weasels off. It's all these like over the top like 50s dude scenes of him fighting animals. They're really good. Well,
MGM's drama of love and thrills in the dangerous waters of the Louisiana Bayou.
Is this the first Brokeback
This
Mountain?
is the cry
yeah,
of
is
the
he
hunted.
fucking that guy?
funny
or
that
he'll
funny
kill
that you
him?
ask?
Because
Funny that you ask.
This has a very like Shawshank laundry room vibe.
Funny that you asked. No, but like, there is a woman in the bottom part of the poster.
Barely.
And then
I
a
know
man and a
it's more of an
child.
afterthought. More of an afterthought. But let
She's
me.
like, please don't leave me for him.
He's like, I have to.
And he's like, I can have both.
So let me read a relevant review from film critic Eddie Mueller.
This had Vittorio Gasman. He's
Pretty.
he's a power player.
That was that
And
porn
Barry
that
Sullivan.
porn actor who used to fart in the women's faces, right?
No.
Vittorio Gasman.
Vittorio Gasman.
No, wait, no, that was Chuck Berry. I'm thinking of.
What's the guy's name?
Yeah, that's the guy that died recently, the musician. He's a really famous guitarist. There was a scandal because there's a video out there on the internet of him
I've seen
farting in
that.
hookers' faces.
You've seen that?
Yeah.
You've
He
seen the
goes-
video?
Yeah, it was on
He goes, I
4chan.
like
That was a
doing
baller
that.
move.
I like doing
That's
that.
right.
That's how he described
That's
it.
a power play.
yeah.
That's a very like.
He pisses on him and stuff.
That's a
He was
Pulp
fucking-
Fiction.
he
Like
was
I'm gonna
fucked
eat
up.
your burger kind of move right
Yeah,
there.
he was pretty fucked
I
up.
don't know. I don't get involved in
Slightly
that.
more violent.
All right, so film critic Eddie Mueller.
Violent? Are farts
Mueller?
violent?
Eddie Mueller or Mueller? M-U-L-L-E-R. Eddie Mueller. He said, I once showed this goofy B film called Cry of the Hunted with Barry Sullivan and William Conrad and Vittorio Gasman. He left that out, though.
Of course.
It's swamp noir.
Noir just means dark, right?
So it's a
Well,
dark
which-
swamp.
which
yeah, but
all
noir,
swamps
noir
are.
is like a
Swampy,
genre.
basically. It's a
for
genre.
sure. No, it's got the.
There's a bit of swamp.
But I think noir like literally means like dark
Yeah,
or
yeah.
night or something
Or
like
black.
that because like
Probably.
the film treatment in noir films is very dark.
Yeah, it's probably
So
literally dark.
he goes on to say they howled, especially at the over-the-top gay subtext between the two lead actors.
So they
the
are.
bottom line.
No, they fight, and it's obvious when the fight is over. They're still wrestling around on the floor. Then they lie against a wall and smoke cigarettes.
Yeah, they do.
This is my favorite line. The LA audience ate it up.
And I actually found a little clip here.
Oh yes, I am so excited. Quicksand. scene.
Quicksand scenes. Movies don't have enough quicksand scenes anymore. When I was a childhood, that was just
Voyager,
which
you're gonna be sorry you found me,
I
Lieutenant.
got it. Don't worry, I got
There'll
it.
be no more running from you. I'm sick of being chased.
Oh.
Yeah, sick of it. I know now you're never gonna give up.
Is this the gas man?
Yeah, he's playing hard to get.
There they go.
This is pretty gay.
Oh, he saw that hook coming.
So they roll around. This is a long clip. They roll around for a long
This
time.
looks like a lever spat.
let me skip forward here. Oh, you got a stick
Whoa.
ball.
Sick.
Here we go.
I saw a chimp do that once.
This is foreplay,
So
obviously.
let me forward it. Oh, he hit his back on his stick, a tree.
A good
That
tumble.
roll was a little close.
So he's sinking in quicksand now. But who else is going to help him out?
That's right.
But the same man he was just fighting.
And now he has to decide whether he's going to let him die or just...
Or bone him.
Or fuck him. Well, is he going to fuck him before or after he dies?
There's only two options.
I don't know. It's really quicksandy now. That's
All right. He finally makes up his mind, and he helps him out. But then you move on, and now they're smoking.
All right, yeah. No, I can see some
always
pretty
seem
gay
to do
subtext
things we
there.
don't think
You know, good for them.
Always. Like the thing that got you into trouble?
I'm
They were,
happy for him.
It was a different time back
They
then.
paved
you know?
the
It's-
way.
It's a little harder to.
So
it's
is
a little harder
the
to do.
cry of the hunted like a metaphor for social persecution and the pain they felt?
I don't think so. I think it was
I think they were probably hunting.
the
something else,
the
right?
movie
Yeah.
earned $376,000 in the U.S. and Canada,
My God, that's like millions of dollars. in today's
resulting
money.
in $179,000 loss.
Damn it.
Yeah.
well,
I
that's
don't
too
know. I
bad.
just thought it was an interesting film here.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I kind of want that poster.
Yeah.
It's a good
So-
poster. It's
so
a great
actually-
poster. That's why I
actually-
had to
Hey,
bring it
can
up.
we
Is that a
recreate that with
mouthpiece?
us?
Cole, can you pull up weasels to rip my flesh? It's just
I'm not sure how this is relevant.
Hesitantly, I
you'll
will.
see how it's relevant when you see the pictures.
Weasels?
Not the Frank Zappa album, the actual the Men's Life cover.
Is that? Have you seen that? Every level 1 MMO experience, and the guy's like
Oh, this one.
warding off.
Yeah,
tons
this
of
perfect.
lobsters.
Perfect. Doesn't that
Man's
hit
Life.
the same vibe?
It does. I think it's the same era, probably.
Yeah.
Let's see. This
Man's.
film,
If you look at Man's Life covers, actually, there are a lot of really.
This
good
is
ones.
exactly how I imagine that. How many 12-year-olds could you beat up scenario?
it was
swinging
released.
weasels around.
It was
Yeah.
released in
Like
1953.
two on your back.
1953. This film was released.
Wait, which one?
Man's life.
Oh,
no,
wait,
no.
Man's Life
Cry
is
the
the-
Hunted. Cry the Hunted.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
So, anyways, I thought that we should probably watch that.
Can we pull up a couple, like one or two more Man's Life covers? These are just so good.
How many Man's Life covers are there?
Like a lot. It was like a magazine.
I only get one magazine. I think you already know what it is.
Oh, Jesus. There's
water
yeah,
park.
Look how good these are, and they're all the same thing. It's all like him with some like either a damsel in distress or by himself.
it's
Go
true.
to
They
the one on the
all
right where he's
similar.
fighting Harambe. He's stabbing it in the fucking neck
Oh, he was the first to kill him.
Why are there always women involved?
because it's Man's Life.
This is weird.
This was the
Why are all the titles?
damsel in distress was like a
This
great
is
trope of
what
its
like the
time.
typical
I
man would
encourage
feel
anybody
like
listening to look up
Okay.
Man's Life on Google
Yeah,
Images
you
because
should.
you're.
Isn't this incredible?
This is weird.
I like
Why-
that. I like that elephant like
Yeah, if they shoot
ravaging
that
Oh
elephant-
shit! That one's
She's-
fighting like a giant
That's.
hawk.
I think that's actually illegal.
to shoot an elephant.
Yeah.
Wait, the
It's-
elephant to rape her?
No, that's.
Depends on the circumstances.
That
yeah, I
guy's
like that
shooting
one.
the giant.
I like
vulture. It's a
he's
vulture,
fucking
not a
Han
hawk.
Soloing it. It's like him and Greedo.
Oh
Yeah, it is a little
under
bit
the
that way.
table.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's Man's Life for
Except
you.
the vulture attacked
right.
first.
So should
Yeah,
we?
well,
yeah, I think we should. Is it time to move on to the?
yeah, let's-
what are we calling that segment?
Heard of it.
Heard of it.
Heard of it.
The Heard of it segment. Let's go on to the Heard
That's
of it
about
segment.
all
now.
Jeff's
Here we go.
done.
Heard of it segment. Oh God, I forgot. It's so much louder. Forgot that I had my volume turned down before we watched Hunt the Wild.
Cry the Hunt.
Yeah.
Wasn't
Jack London.
well? He got me all mixed up, right?
Into the Wild.
All right. So welcome to Heard of It segment. This is a segment where we've all pre-agreed on a topic to discuss, and now we're going to discuss it right now.
So glad I researched the correct Prop 65.
Spoiler
Whoa, spoiler
alert!
alert.
I'm sorry.
my
Oh, whoa,
God.
we're
I think a lot of people know about Prop 65, but they don't know they know about Prop 65.
Exactly. Prop 65. What is Prop 65, you might be asking? Well, let us tell you. We're talking about the one in 1986, by the way, not the one that some people...
That's weird. I researched plastic bag ban.
Well, that was not the right one.
That was your fault.
That was your fault. We made it clear. Prop 65. I
disagree.
Even if you live in a state that's not California, you're probably affected by Prop 65.
One of those other ones.
I don't know the names
most of
of
the
them.
things that
I
happen
don't
in
even know how
California
many there
somehow
are.
affect half of the country.
So Prop 65, it
What are there,
was...
like 10, 20 of those?
It was a
at least a
California.
dozen.
It was a California law passed by direct voter initiative in 1986. Yet it's still affecting us today. Its goals were to protect drinking water sources from toxic substances.
Cole's not reading
It
this
worked
right now.
really,
No, this is
really
off the top of my head.
well in Flint.
So essentially, what it is you know that sticker on all your products you buy that say this may contain chemicals that cause cancer.
Known to the state of California to cause
Known to this,
cancer.
even no matter where you enter. Well, not if you're not in California, but even if you're going, going into Disneyland, they have one that's up on the wall.
A lot of people see it on like.
Cite the fucking sign from memory if you've lived here.
Well, it's everywhere. Is the thing is if you're a company and you are in Canada and you want to sell something in
Right.
California,
They're gonna relabel
you're
it.
putting these stickers on your thing.
Even if you ever think your product might be sold in California, then
Right.
you have to put the sticker on your thing.
Yeah.
Even if you're not sure of a lot of companies, why it's kind of silly is it's grown so much. The scope has grown so much. It now includes over 800 substances or chemicals that may cause cancer.
Well, so the qualifiers here is they're dangerous chemicals with a significant risk of reproductive health and birth defects, carcinogens, and also a third category that's probable carcinogens. So it might cause cancer in some, but not proven by the wider scientific community. And what they constitute as a significant risk is if there's one extra case in 100,000 people in 70 years of exposure to this chemical. That's significant risk. And you have to be warned about it.
You have to be constantly exposed to it in 70 years.
I feel like there's a looser standard applied to rat poop in breakfast cereal than there is.
There may be.
Probably.
I'm not familiar with the standard.
You know, they do have a set like parts per trillion rat shit you can have in your food.
Really?
Yeah, so like the
You can't say
lead.
it's zero.
The lead is 300 parts per million of the exposed homogeneous
Hope they
material,
make it
which is
zero.
0.03% of the exposed material. If it has that much lead in it,
Yeah.
it gets a cancer label.
And if you are selling bags, that it would go to a nature conservancy.
Jeff
that's
is apparently
the wrong
an
one.
expert on plastic bag ban.
I'm sorry.
Different one.
So the funny thing about this is that the labels aren't really that helpful. They all say the same thing, and you don't know what part of the product may or may not be causing.
Right. The idea of the law is that it's a right to know law, but it's the right to know what, right? Is there actually information here? It's presenting this like very binary, this is bad
Yep.
thing.
And if you ever
What am I supposed to do?
Yeah, and if you ever want to know what part of the product might be causing the cancer, here's a recommendation. Find the name of the manufacturer by checking the package and any written information that comes with the product. The contact information is often on the package as well. So they want you to contact the company, call, email, or write the manufacturer about the specific product.
Ain't nobody got time.
Most of the people who manufacture it just assume one of the chemicals is in their product.
Yeah.
It might not be, and they just put the label on it.
And the business's obligation to respond, there's no
none.
regulation
There's
on
none.
that. They don't have to respond, and the supplemental information that they provide is not appraised by an expert.
Yeah, that seems helpful.
So they can just say like, yeah, it's fine.
Here's the real kicker of it from what I saw was that there's no penalty for just saying, hey, this may have these chemicals. Like you're basically over,
to cover your ass.
Yeah, it's a cover your ass move.
So
But
what help does it
they
give
had
at
like
all?
basically bounty lawsuits where people were going around places. They're like, there's a little bit of lead here. I can prove there's, whatever, a piece of lead here. And they would sue the company. So everyone started putting these signs up in order to cover themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
So the problem is
every business now.
anyone who's seen these is like so incredibly fucking desensitized to them
Yeah.
that like I'm like, oh, nothing
noise.
causes. I'm fucking like mainlining like melted styrofoam because like who gives a shit? It's all gonna fucking cause cancer or
Yeah, so
How many times have you ignored that label?
if
in your
everything's
life?
labeled, then nothing's labeled.
I
essentially.
love how it says known to the state of California, which
Right, that's
known
because-
is a pretty generous like if the state of California knows something, I don't find that very convincing.
Well, that's the broader third category of the probable carcinogen. Is it's not recognized by the wider scientific community. It's just in California, it made it on the list based on our arbitrary standards.
So of the little research that I did, I just saw that aloe vera was added to this list.
Really?
that's
yeah.
not surprising.
Huh.
Hey, as ridiculous as it was.
Is it
you've-
something in aloe or aloe itself?
You've looked
they
at the
said
list,
aloe vera,
right?
not an extensive.
So here's a fun thing about
I
this
looked at
list.
plastic bags.
We've all heard of BPA, I think, right?
Sure.
That's the shit that's in the plastic bottles, and they're like, well, if the plastic bottle gets heated up a certain amount and there's water in it, it
I
could leach
microwave
into
all of my
water.
water bottles.
And like it's like a.
I put mine in the oven.
I love a good hot bottle of water.
There's like
Most
a,
of mine are melted at the
well, it's sitting in the truck or whatever, and the truck's in the sun. And they're like, well, and then it might, like, there's some evidence that it might cause cancer, but like Europe is like, nah, it doesn't cause cancer. They're a little
Really?
weird about
They're
this
more
stuff.
strict about this stuff than
yeah,
we
no,
are.
they're like, we don't
But
have
they're not
evidence
so
of it.
gung ho with lawsuits, so there's probably a reason for it.
There were like a lot of people that were, the consent, the jury's still out on it, I think, a little bit, and like it's fine, like you can just say no BPA, like that's cool, but the problem is they've got BPA, which there is at least some scientific study on this causing cancer, right? But it's like a little vague. On the same fucking list that they have mustard gas, literally fucking mustard gas, the word mustard gas, not even like the chemical name. No, it's on the same the Prop 65 list as BPA.
Yeah, we need some tiers.
So it's now saying, the risk factor, the signage requirement is the same if you have a tank of fucking mustard gas on your property as if you're selling a fucking water bottle that, like, maybe if you like heat it up with water in it and then like drink it and do that every day,
Right.
it might eventually cause cancer.
So that's the problem. It's this binary thing, and there's no context, or
There should be like a
there's no
rating.
information.
And,
So-
and
sliding
everything is
scale.
labeled now.
Yeah.
Because why not label it?
Sure.
It's
But you don't know what the substance is, where it is in the product, how you'll be exposed to it, the level of risk, and how to minimize that risk. There's no information.
This has to stem from the fact that, like, the United States is just so gung ho as far as
It's not. No,
Suing.
it's only a California law. And that's
This
it's only-
stems
California's in the
from
extreme
some
end of
fucking
that.
legislator thinking this sounds good on paper. People will be like, oh.
I think the intent
Or
is
actually, it
noble,
wasn't
but
even a
the
legislator.
execution,
It was put to a
Right,
vote.
but
the
so my-
execution got watered down
Right.
because of people trying to cover their ass. Yeah,
Right. So that's my point. Is because
the intent is
people
noble.
know that people will sue for anything.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, they're just going to add anything to this list, and all of a sudden, it's fine to put
Right.
these things in their product without any repercussions.
So the way you do this correctly, right,
Or
is
rather-
you create like a sliding scale, and you say this is your risk factor. You get your fucking health rating on your restaurant, right, and it's A, B, C, D, F, whatever.
How about the Smokey the Bear sign?
Yeah, like the high risk of fire today.
Cancer risk on this product is extreme.
Yeah, they have a good cartoon,
and only
It's
you
like
can prevent it.
I'll pass.
Yeah, that's a good cartoon of like a bald guy, just like cancer risk is here.
Yeah, because literally they put this label on products that there's might be a lead wire inside of the product, which you'll never come in contact
So
with.
cords, the reason, like it's on extension cords and Christmas lights, people see it a lot, and the reason is PVC is it's like polyvinyl chloride or something
Yeah,
like that,
if it
and
burns, it's bad.
it'll break down into hydrochloric acid, which has like a cascading reaction of degradation.
So you can still somehow consume it.
No, the way they stabilize PVC is they add metal salts, and one of them is lead. Stabilizes PVC.
So that's the problem, is the lead, not the hydrochloride.
But it's inside the coating.
Right.
Well, the actual
Well, no,
actual
it's
PVC
the outside coating.
is really bad if the plasticizers in it are really bad if it burns.
So the only way you can get it into your body is if you ingest it. So it's you chew on the cord, or you handle it and then handle food. You can get trace amounts.
Should I not have PVC
but
cups?
but listen to this. They even have
That's all I have in my kitchen.
Your people
know.
people put their fucking plumbing through PVC.
Yeah.
It's used
Yeah.
as pipe,
and,
Yeah.
but here's
So
the
what
thing.
about the water got really hot?
I think
Are you going to eat your cups, Jeff? If you're gonna eat
I think
your
tap
cup-
water's some
I lick
copper.
'em.
they even have exempt
yeah.
cords.
Yeah, that's true.
So even according to their own law, cords that are not often plugged and unplugged do
Yeah.
not have to be labeled.
It's because you only get the exposure through the manipulation of the cord. If you touch or
but
chew
how
on
do
it.
you, how do you define that? Christmas time, I only unplug it once a
Right.
year. Does that count?
but I
Or
still
is it-
touched it.
But if you sit there with the Christmas lights all year like a worry
Yeah.
bead,
I typically
while
fondle
licking your finger.
my cords.
I was doing that earlier.
Also, I love this
mic
part.
It's true.
making
I love this
sure it
part.
Loved me.
Jake
The
loves
following
to fondle his
are the
microphone.
following are exempt: governmental agencies and public water utilities.
oh yeah, so
Those are the two
so they
things
have
where it
to
matters.
Oh, so you mean like all of it?
public schools
Fuck.
like asbestos and that kind of stuff falls under this law's umbrella, and so private schools have to get checked for all that stuff, but public schools do not.
Because they're exempt.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you get, it doesn't matter if you get cancer in a public school, right?
I love it.
Yeah. So it's,
Also, did you realize how racist
'cause fuck
this
the
law
public,
is?
right?
no.
I didn't realize it was racist.
These labels are only. Why are you all for it now?
No,
no,
Jake, this is
racist. You say?
No, the reason I said that is because I feel like the people who are in favor of all this like overregulated like shit, that all this touchy feely, oh, let's make everyone safe bullshit, are the same kinds of people that are swayed by the arguments that's racist. So if you can throw this ammo in there, it's like an effective
Okay.
I'm not saying racism is good. Okay. Racism is very bad.
Just to be
the
clear.
Holocaust happened and racism is bad.
Thank you.
And Pearl Harbor happened. I just
So the
wanna throw
reason
it
it's racist
The Earth is
is
flat.
that it's only required to be printed in English, and it's a California law.
Oh.
And 40% of California does not speak English at
It's
home.
not like it's really saying anything anyways.
Is that-
we can agree
is
on
that
that.
racist?
8 million people in California speak limited English.
I agree with
But
that.
fuck those
Whose
guys.
fault is that?
I'm just saying the laws should be tailored to reality.
Yeah, so
Well, it's clearly
No,
not.
they need to learn goddamn
clearly,
even on
it's
the
clearly not tailored to
even on
reality.
the American Cancer Society website, they say the Prop 65 label only tell you the product has something in it that might cause cancer or affect reproduction. They don't
doesn't even
say
tell you that.
They don't say what the substance is, where it is in the product, how you might be exposed to it, what the level of risk is, or how to reduce your exposure.
Oh God, it's such a helpful prop. I'm so glad we passed it.
Here's the way you do it. You sliding scale. It's not binary, and you have actual fucking scientists, not like some dipshit in Sacramento in their fucking office that I'm paying for.
Well, that was one of the things is that these aren't elected people that are putting things on the list. So like the aloe vera thing, it was just some
Yeah.
guy that works for him.
This is not OSHA, the EPA and the OEAA, right?
Well, I guess we don't have the EPA anymore, so I don't have to worry about that.
The,
Problem solved.
Thanks,
On to the next thing.
make paint
Give me that
rated
oil
again.
pipeline.
No, I think we all agree that it came from a good place. But
Yeah, so
Sure.
I'm actually
one's
curious
saying-
about Jake's opinion on that. Do you believe the intent of this law to be noble?
I do actually.
Okay.
I believe.
Because you were lumping it in with some touchy feely bullshit that we're just
No, I'm saying
virtue signaling and trying to do
touchy-feely
good things
people
and-
are the kinds of people that
Got it.
do these virtue signaling laws and don't give a shit about the execution because they're too goddamn stupid to think it through.
Yeah, I was
They're
looking
not.
at,
They're not going to sit there
think
and
a lot
go,
of-
well, you know, what if there's like a correlation and there's not? They're like they don't understand anything. They're just like, I don't want my kid to get
Yeah.
cancer.
It even
let's
says-
exempt the public schools because I'm a fucking moron.
it even says on here, American Cancer Society, not all the known carcinogens, not all of them are known carcinogens by groups of experts outside of the state of California. So our scientists
Exactly.
say they are.
Exactly.
But other scientists are like, I don't know. I wouldn't jump to that
Well, it's
conclusion.
not
Is it even
science, you
our
know? My
scientists or
truth.
is it just some guy?
All it says is scientists classify all of these cancer-related substances at least as probable carcinogens, meaning that they might cause cancer in some people, but not all of them are known carcinogens known to cause cancer by groups and experts outside the state of California.
Did you just assume my state?
I assumed I'm confident that we all live in
can't
California.
believe you.
Yeah, did you assume my state? Did you assume I'm a solid?
That was just the worst.
I know, that was bad. It had to happen, though.
Well, I think a lot of these laws come out of a place of trying to do something good, but then they get propagated by something that's just like
It comes down to execution.
yeah.
They always come
That's
out.
right. If we
But it's also
executed
helping
more
someone
people.
else.
Like paint, for example, before this law, up to 50% of white paint was lead. Like
Yeah, that was bad.
the
See?
And that was bad
Sure.
because kids were eating chips of it off the wall.
well, you can get it by inhaling.
Yeah, that
That's
was
how
bad.
the exposure to
No,
lead
no,
is ingestion or inhalation, right?
The paint chip thing's a little bit like, you know,
It was half lead.
is
White paint.
is the kid retarded because he's eating paint chips because the paint chips are bad?
I lick the
or
wall
is,
all the time.
Is the kid dumb enough to eat paint chips?
It's a kid. It's
and you're going to be like, the
essentially
paint
a
chips
puppy.
did it, and
Kids-
it's like
kids
the
eat whatever you
kid
put in
chose
front
to
of them.
eat the paint chips.
No,
Like
they didn't choose anything. They just do what
they probably
they don't
taste
make
like
choices.
They probably
It's just-
taste like shit though. If you
Kids
put
The brain just does things.
here's what you're gonna do. Put a nice
No,
big bowl of
this is gonna-
shit.
This is gonna get.
They're
Put a
like a
nice
bowl
big
of
bowl of
nerds.
Jake is
shit
getting
in
off
front of a
topic.
kid. They're not going to eat
No,
it. They're not
Jake-
going to eat it. They're going to put it in their mouth. They're going to go, that
you
tastes
can't. You
bad.
can't put like a 1-year-old kid into.
And that's
a-
actually not true. I've eaten cat poop at the beach when I was young.
like on purpose. Why was cat poop at the
Our
beach?
our friend
there are
used
so
to
many
drink
layers to this
gutter
story.
water.
It's the natural litter box. Why wouldn't there be?
You're
cat?
exploring your
cats?
world.
Yeah, cats are always at the beach. They love the beach.
I've never seen a cat at the beach.
Giant sandbox.
I thought I saw a duck at the beach once, but it was a seagull. So it's my favorite story because it's like literally the worst
because
story
it
ever.
ends all conversations.
Well, no, you can make it really long too. I can stretch that.
No,
I can
please
stretch that out
don't.
for 10 minutes.
I wish you wouldn't.
So
yeah, even bring it up.
It's the duck that wasn't.
you named the story. The name is almost as long as the story.
You don't need to hear anything other than the
In
name.
some senses, the name is the story.
It is.
It's all right there. It's all right there.
The duck that wasn't.
So I think that and as much as my small government libertarian self pains to say this, the right way to do this law may be to regulate business and not people. Like
Dare you bring up regulations?
If we have something that we think is actually dangerous, maybe don't put it into the market. Don't do this. So like we have this noise as consumers. Like think about user agreements with software.
Yeah.
Nobody reads that.
No.
But they still say, I told you so, right? So they can put dangerous shit in these products and then cover their ass with an I told you so
in a
thing.
way, it almost makes it.
But there's so much chaff that we never read it and take it seriously. So is it actually
Yeah.
doing anything?
In a way, it almost protects people from putting chemicals in their product. Because like before,
Yeah.
it would be a big deal if you found out like a really bad chemical causing. But now it's like we put the label on there like every
Yeah,
other
sure.
label.
We
Yeah.
didn't make them eat it.
This
Yeah.
is my point: is that I think this stems from the larger issue of we sue over anything in this country, and so we put labels on things that protect against everything.
Yeah.
and ergo, we're not protecting against anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have
Like,
this big
like that
problem.
hemorrhoid cream that says like don't take orally, you know, that all
Sure.
that shit on there, the warning labels.
Yeah. Well, when you were talking about like Europe, and they take things a lot more seriously over there. As
But
far
the
as, like,
motivations are different, right? I think it's healthcare first over there.
Right.
And like
Lawsuit second.
litigious defense.
Right, because they don't have
takes
to
a
worry
back
about
seat.
it as much.
Yeah.
So that's my point, is that it's such a bigger issue here because we can sue. It's not even that people will sue, it's that you can sue. And so we
Right.
have all of these descriptions and user agreements and laws
Yeah,
that are
it is-
just there to block a lawsuit.
Yeah, because no one
it
reads
is hard.
any of it.
It's like not a lot of stuff seems to get thrown out in court, right? Like it happens. Like obviously there is a system, and like some suits are just not viable and get thrown
Yeah.
out. They get snuffed in their infancy, like a. Never mind. But
like a child.
I forget if this story was true or not, but there was a
Elijah
guy
Bob.
who he was like either committing suicide in the ocean, like trying to drown himself, or he was just drowning on his own. And I forget the details. The fire department like got there but couldn't swim out to get him because it was like a
them?
jurisdiction thing. Or, no, the underlying issue was they were afraid of a lawsuit because they weren't like the correct authority to go do something.
Yeah. Well, they even had to establish the Good Samaritan law, where it's like if someone tries to help you and fails, or hurts you in doing so, that you can't sue them because like they're trying to help you. But it's just the fact that we had to establish that is sad.
Like intent matters more than action. kind of
yeah,
thing.
like if I try to give someone CPR and break their rib, they can't sue me for breaking their rib.
although that should only go so far. If someone's like, "Oh, I thought like fucking this kid was gonna help it," then
Clearly, it only goes so far.
Yeah, I don't think that would hold up.
It would not hold up in any court.
But if you fuck this frog, you'll cure your AIDS.
Okay.
hey, have you guys seen that video of that chimp fucking that frog in the mouth?
What?
He's using it like a fleshlight. It's really good. I really like watching videos of chimps doing like dumb shit.
We've gone too far. Is it time for a break?
Has technology gone too far?
Is it time for a break?
Hey, we
Chimps
came
are
full circle. We
fucking
started
frogs.
with the chimp video. We ended
No,
with the
this
chimp
is-
video. No, I think is there more to be?
I just don't think you can control people's behavior as much as the government thinks you can. Like people are too smart; they'll like go around things.
People are too smart.
Sure. Well, that's essentially what's happening
they're
with
too
this law.
adaptable.
That's exactly what's happening with this law. They're just throwing anything on the list.
Yeah, they give you
And avoiding it
You
entirely.
have to draw lines somewhere, so they say like, okay, this minuscule cutoff, you have to put the label on, and instead of like adhering to the intent of that and giving meaningful warnings about stuff, they go the other way and just worry about compliance.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So they're not doing what you want them to
Sure.
do. They're technically going
Right.
along with it.
Well, that
It's
can
obviously
be,
the
that
issue
can
with
be
this
said about
regulation.
so many laws in California. It's
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a land of overregulation.
laws anywhere.
The
And
broader country, like the tax
they
code.
produce laws that don't have the correct teeth either, because we don't have like you can't as California like it's hard to make like an agency that enforces this shit. It's a really expensive undertaking. So they make this half-assed law. They figure the courts will settle it.
Yeah.
You know, it'll get sorted out when people sue.
Which the courts already have so much to handle.
Yeah.
So there's no way that they're actually going to settle anything.
I like that sign. That's a very attractive sign.
That's at Disneyland.
If you actually,
Yeah.
if you didn't speak English, that sign would look like
Cole
it,
just
like
put
it
up
was
a
telling
sign
you
that says
something
"Warning:
fun.
The Disneyland Resort." The Disneyland Resort
all of
itself
all of it
contains chemicals known to the state of California to cause cancer and birth defects or other reproductive harm.
Pointless blanket
65.
statement.
And the crazy thing is that this label is on every product, even if you're buying it in a different state, if you're buying it somewhere internationally, like literally this, it's
all
on
over the
almost
place.
everything. And
So the point of this sign, I walk in, I see this. What is my expected course of action now?
Yeah.
Am
Yeah,
I-
you just turn around and leave. You just spent,
Right?
$120 on a Disneyland
Because if that
ticket. You're like,
says-
fuck it, I guess I'm going home.
if that means what it says, no one should be in that park at all.
No.
Well, the other thing is too. I wonder how much of a catch-all they have to do. Like if they sanitize the entire goddamn park and some guy decides that he's going to wear his lead vest to Disneyland, are they still like? Is that still their problem?
Okay, what is a lead vest?
Like the thing they put on you when they X-ray.
People just wear those?
I don't know. Some guy might.
Do you not?
There's nothing stopping you from.
I
doing
bring mine
it.
to work every day.
I think Prop 65 is stopping you.
You could just. Well, it's stopping Disneyland from letting you do it without putting a sign up.
Letting you.
Yeah, allowing you.
California alone, just in their lawmaking processes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How big is our constitution now? It's like
What?
thousands.
We
of
have a
amendments.
constitution.
Yeah, thousands of amendments. Like it's literally thousands of amendments.
The California legislature, I think it's like 2,000 to 3,000 laws are passed every year.
You guys ever listen to Kevin De Leon talk? The guy who's like one of the top people in the Senate, the state Senate.
No.
Listen to him talk. You're in for a treat. He's a sputtering fucking retard. He's a sputtering goddamn moron.
If you'd like to get a link to this, please email Jake.
Google it.
I mean, I'm not, you know, obviously he disagrees with me on political things, but you hear
Also
the
known as
way
politics.
he stumbles his way through a fucking
prefer political
sentence like
things.
he's lost. And it's just, he's like a fucking person on a scooter in Walmart that can't figure out what aisle their Cheez-Its are on. And that's how he goes about speaking. It's disgusting. It's kind of like what I do, except it's not funny. Because he's in charge of shit.
Are you a person in Walmart?
And that's
can't find
assuming
the
that what you're
cheeses?
doing is funny. That's a pretty bold
I
statement.
think I'm endlessly entertained by
Yeah,
everything
I
that I
often
say.
laugh.
Me too. I know. I don't want to tell him that though. I don't want to encourage him. So yeah, I think we've kind of covered this.
Prop 65.
Great job, California. You're doing it.
I mean,
So ways to improve potentially. I feel like the cutoff that they made for what actually constitutes a significant risk is a little too broad.
well, it's also
The one extra case in 100,000 people over
think it's
70 years of exposure.
Far too broad.
Yeah.
I think it covers everything.
'cause doesn't the sun
and therefore it
kinda
covers nothing.
create one extra case of cancer in 100,000 people if,
Yeah.
you,
it definitely does.
if you were exposed to it for 70 years.
Yes. And also the enforcement. Who is enforcing it? There's no
There
governing
is
body
compliance
enforcing
is
it.
voluntary.
The only enforcement
the California
through the
Health and
courts.
Safety
the only
Board.
enforcement is through courts. So they're saying like if you don't do it, you'll get sued. So essentially they made a law and they're like, oh, but we're not going to enforce it. Like,
You know who benefited from this was
Right.
fucking lawyers. They had a shit ton of, they called them
Probably the
bounty
ones who wrote it,
lawsuits,
too.
and lawyers made a shit ton of money. None of the claimants. They would find people who had standing and just be like, "You're going to do the suit. We'll give you $1,000,000," and then they'd keep however many million.
What do you guys
exactly
think about
why something like aloe vera is added to this list? Is because we can avoid a lawsuit.
It can't be actually aloe. It's got to be something like a preservative that
I
they put.
swear
No,
it's
I know.
aloe
vera.
I know.
It could
Like a
be
bottle
aloe.
of aloe vera that has more in it than the pulp of the aloe.
But I'm
Why-
pretty
why
sure if you
couldn't
look
it
at the
be aloe?
list, it would say aloe vera.
let me pull up the list. It's 800. It's 800 items though.
Yeah, could you read all of those, Cole?
Control F.
I like that there's. I just like that there's mustard gas on that list.
It's on that list.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
I
get
feel
behind
like-
that.
yeah.
I support that.
Yeah,
if
but it's on the
Disneyland-
same, it's on the same list as fucking BPA and aloe vera.
If Disneyland had mustard gas on the rides,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to go.
But here's the thing.
Have you not been on
It doesn't matter
Mr.
whether they have
Frog's
mustard
Wild
gas
Mustard Rat-
or
Mustard
no.
gas adventure.
Yeah, Mr. Toad.
All right, let me search.
I butchered the name of
Aloe
that so
vera.
badly.
Non-decolorized whole leaf extract.
Literally the extract of aloe vera.
Wow.
Yeah.
Type of toxicity.
This is the one thing I did of
Cancer.
research, by the way.
Basis for listing LC. I don't know what that means, but
LC.
yeah, LC.
Low
Oh, it's got the LC.
cancer.
That's how you know it's serious. When that's LC.
Light
Gold
cancer.
Less
Light
cancer. It's like Bud Light.
LC, light cancer.
It's like Bud Light except better.
So that's
So what do you guys think about controlling chemicals at the business level? Just saying like, how about mustard gas? You don't put in any product.
So here's my.
Can we
thoughts.
draw a line?
I kind of like what if I'm
magnificent.
my opinion is that I'm willing to take the risk. I'm willing to take a calculated risk on something that's a probable cause of cancer. Mustard gas, probably. I don't think anyone's going to say that.
You
but-
can still have the thing. It's just a label on it, right?
right, but no, I think that's what you're saying.
I could have
Like,
mustard gas in a product as long as I have
instead
a
of
label.
the label, if a substance is actually dangerous, how about we don't put it out into the market? And then that's kind of half the point of the government is to regulate this stuff, get some standards
Sure.
in the economy.
I think
I
this
don't
is
like. I don't like
creating-
being told I can't have something.
And this is almost
it's
just
not saying you can't go get it. It's saying when I buy this thing at the store, there's beyond a reasonable doubt that this isn't going to give me cancer.
yes.
then I can't buy it at the store.
well, you can go buy cyanide and just eat gobs of it,
Right.
right? But I don't want
But
to.
it should be labeled.
I don't think you would get through gobs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
300 milligrams. 300 milligrams.
300 milligrams.
We know.
What is the definition of a
I'm not.
gob?
I'm not saying ban it. Don't treat it like a controlled drug, right? But if you go so far as to say like there's stuff in this product that can give you cancer, don't put that stuff in that product. Or if
Where do you draw the line?
Well,
Where do you draw the line?
Exactly.
If you ban it
Yeah,
at
but
a-
what if it's
you-
cheaper too?
If you ban it at a supplier level, you're essentially banning it at a consumer level.
That's probably the reason.
You're still saying like you can't have this essentially unless I'm gonna like make it on my own.
no, you go get it a la carte is all.
All the cars.
Yeah.
so I can add my own mustard gas.
Yes.
To my smoothie.
Yeah, you should be able to like order whatever you want. That's fine.
So the question is, as long
Okay.
as you
All right, I
have
could get
as long
behind
as you have the label, you can put mustard gas in the products. Is that what I'm hearing?
If I was getting a
And,
smoothie,
and here's the most
Apparently.
important thing is people who actually have credentials studying the shit and putting it on the list.
sure.
And people who don't have like a monetary,
Yeah, there's like a better safe than sorry thing that dilutes it all.
yeah,
But-
it makes everything shittier.
You brought up a good point though with smoothies. If I was to buy a smoothie and they threw the label in with the mix, is that okay?
Yeah, I think if you consume the label, then that means you've understood.
Well,
it.
actually, I'm looking here. Labels are on the list of the 800.
Wow.
Oh,
It's very meta that you'll have to label the
Prop
labels.
65 is actually on the list of cancer.
As long as they
causing.
blended a label with that smoothie.
This is like the Confederate flag for me. Right? Like as an individual.
bit of a disconnect.
if you-
I'm
mind for that
interested in how that's happening.
I'm listening.
Is your Confederate flag made of lead?
If
Like, what?
you, as an individual, want to go out and get a Confederate flag, I am totally fine with that. Go nuts. Go have it. But at like the state level, if you want to like fly it above your capital and force the rest of us to
Sure.
look at it
Sure.
/ consume it as the parallel, right?
Yeah.
I don't want it. That shit's toxic.
You
and
bring
bad.
up a good point. If anything, if you were going to limit this somewhere, I'd say just limit it exclusively to the people who are exempt right now, which is public schools,
Yeah.
state buildings.
Yep.
Probably
Yeah,
the
it's
fucking
backwards.
probably the fucking post office because they can't handle labeling
Well,
anything.
I don't think
goddamn
anyone actually
correctly.
you know
goes
what?
to the post office.
I don't,
I
even
hate
know
the
that,
post
I don't even
office.
know that they need it, or rather that they just need it. It's that if they're going to impose it to somebody, it should be imposed to all.
It should be imposed-
The fact that they can, they can
those are the people
exclude
that should
something in the
have
public
should be
sector
held
is
the most
insane.
accountable
but they're
because
the
you
ones
have
who made the
no
law.
choice. You have no choice
Yeah,
but to give
that's how it
money to
works.
these government
Of course it
institutions.
is, but
They should be held to the highest level of accountability.
I agree.
Right, yeah,
not
they
the
have,
lowest.
They have zero accountability.
You're talking should, not is.
Oh,
this doesn't
obviously.
apply
Yeah,
to
this
the
whole
things
thing
that
should not
everybody
exist.
uses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane.
Well, you know what's actually going to happen is nobody's going to listen to this, and then nothing will change. And even if they did,
oh no,
nothing
we
would
solved
change.
all the world's problems today.
I mean, I
Yeah.
feel like we've at least got close to the bottom of this one. It's like we all agree that if everything's labeled, then nothing is labeled.
the
Exactly.
American Cancer
Exactly.
Society agrees.
Yeah, and that's funny. The American Cancer Society, who you would suspect would be behind this,
Well, you would assume they would if it was a good law.
but even they realize that this
they're-
is just an overreach of.
Yeah, they wrote a
government.
letter to the OEHHA, the Office of
Yeah.
Environmental Health and Hazard Association,
Yeah.
which is who regulates this. And they said the public perception appears to be that the warnings are ubiquitous, uninformative, and as a result, meaningless.
Beautiful. That sums it
That
up.
was so succinct. Oh, so well done.
It's true. I mean, it is true, and it's funny that one law passed in California could have such a broad reach.
That's why a lot of people are upset about
Sure.
these trade deals that are like classified until 4 years after they go into
Yeah.
effect.
Yeah.
Right.
Because people in other countries have to alter their behavior
Yeah.
because of rules in a different country.
You know what? You know what a big takeaway here is that I think we're missing a little bit though. Is that
God.
no? It's not as upsetting as you think it is.
Okay.
This law,
Holocaust.
we keep saying this law was passed, and I keep saying it too. But really, this was a ballot measure. This was put to a fucking vote, and our peers passed it by a
here's
margin.
why. But here's why.
They
It
passed
sounds
it.
good in theory.
65% of people voted
Because
in
it
favor
sounds
of this,
good in
right?
I
theory.
likely would have voted for something
Yeah.
that sounded that
Well,
way.
you have
I
to
would
put
not
it in
because I
context
do
of
the
time.
fucking research. Am I the only goddamn person that
No, because you
researches
wouldn't
the
have
fucking
known-
ballot
You are
measures?
absolutely perfect.
Yes,
You wouldn't have
they didn't have
known-
the internet.
How are
And
you such a
wouldn't have
goddamn
known-
specimen?
You would not have known at the time that the list would grow to 800 substances.
Sure. At some point, it was probably actually pointless.
It was like, hey,
At this
we
point,
should
it is, like
label
they
stuff
said,
that has lead in it. It was
meaningless.
probably
Look, the point I'm making is just that you can't trust the masses with fucking anything, and democracy doesn't work. You just You just need a good,
Oh, is that
strong.
all?
You just need a good, strong dictator who's really smart but a complete sociopath.
Thank God for Donald.
Good thing we have.
No.
Glover.
I said smart.
I said
smart.
Glover.
I don't think Donald Glover's that smart. No, I know nothing about Donald Glover. He might be like the smartest guy.
So this, by the way, this is the same year. It might be the same prop.
You have a fucking book on this?
Of course he does.
It's
He went to the
got-
library.
got
Have
many
you met
topics.
Jeff?
He went to the library and
This is the same year and possibly the same
Yes,
act that
I
removed
absorbed.
lead from gasoline.
See, that's
Right.
a good move.
So you got to put it in the context of the time. We're just kind of waking up to environmental ramifications. They had lead solder on food containers. Cans were sealed with lead.
Do you know why leaded
clearly stems
gasoline
from a good
exists?
place.
It prevents engines from knocking.
It does, but you
Yeah.
know what else prevents engines from knocking?
Tell me.
Ethanol. Small amounts of ethanol
That's-
in gasoline.
So you're saying this
That's
was
what
some
they
like
called it.
But do you know
corporate
why
move?
lead
Was this like a
leaded
lobbying
gasoline?
thing?
What it was they couldn't patent putting ethanol in the gasoline.
Oh,
it
because
was
it was
already
just-
common practice.
Huh.
So I think it was either GM or
But
Ford.
lead was?
I think the guy was Thomas Midgley Jr., if I remember correctly, who invented leaded gasoline, and he created
It is Thomas Midgley.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
It's in his book.
He's my favorite. He's my favorite B tier shitty mad scientist, and he created leaded gasoline because
It was actually.
it was patentable.
Here's a little nuance to that. It was tetraethyl lead. That shorthand is ethyl.
I like how that's in the same book.
And that was
Book cover.
Everything.
General
Jay.
Motors, DuPont, and Standard Oil all formed a joint enterprise
Yeah,
called
it makes-
Ethyl Gasoline Corporation.
It makes sense
Put
that,
that
DuPont
chemical-
was in there.
Can we just take a moment to appreciate how many of those details I got right from memory just now?
Great
and
job.
then
Great job.
how we immediately had a book to clarify.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
I,
It wasn't ethanol. It was tetraethyl lead. That they spun the name of it to ethyl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
all right,
it
so I
was
was wrong
adding
on
lead,
that. I was
yeah.
wrong, but they had a
Yeah,
different.
you ate the Kool-Aid there.
Wait,
as they say.
wait. That was what they resulted in, or that's what they were trying to get around? Because the point was that this
What
leaded
Jake is
gasoline
saying-
was patentable.
what Jake is saying is that you could do ethanol instead of ethyl.
Oh, I don't know about
Yeah,
that.
you could use that instead of leaded gasoline.
This is what everyone.
If that
was
was a spin, that's a good way to go about
We don't
it.
have leaded
Take out
gasoline
half the
anymore,
name.
but our engines don't knock. And the reason is that there's other shit that works, but leaded gasoline was patentable.
Right.
So it was very profitable to do it.
So
Thomas
that's because it's
Midgley Jr.
lubricated?
is actually widely regarded as the most destructive biological organism to ever exist.
Lead?
Due to his invention
the
of
man.
leaded gasoline. And I think it was
CFCs.
Are they CFCs? Yeah. The refrigerants that also work as like propellants.
Yeah, because like 1 pound of CFCs will kill like 10,000 pounds of ozone,
Yeah.
which is only like an eighth of an inch
Yeah.
thick to begin with. Like, there's not a lot of ozone.
They're like the worst thing that
And you
ever
just-
created.
It used to be in hairspray and all that kind of stuff.
any
you know-
aerosol.
wow.
It was propelled.
Yeah.
You know how he came up with the leaded gasoline?
He was trying
said,
to date the Earth.
Well, he
He was doing
said
with a lead isotope.
he said that in one interview he said he went down the periodic table and just added shit to gasoline until he found something that reduced the engine knock.
That's
And then apparently lead worked.
He wasn't eating like a PB&J and it clicked.
No, I think it was like
that's a science joke.
Apple fell on his head.
PB&J.
Because lead is
Yeah,
PP.
I'm getting it.
Yeah.
I'm getting it.
That's
I'm
good.
not
That
smart
works.
enough for that.
works. Yeah, I didn't catch that right away. I can recite like the fucking like dictionary.
You just
of
recited the history of this.
the history of Thomas
obscure man.
Midgley Jr. No, do you guys know what ultimately happened to him?
No.
Did he die from lead poisoning?
He died from his own invention. Actually, so before he died, he got severe lead poisoning because he gave a public press conference and he was like, people were pissed, right? They're like, you're adding fucking lead to our gasoline. We're inhaling it. It's like really fucking bad. And he went publicly and like had like lead like in liquid and like put it on his hands and like inhaled it. And he's like, see, it's perfectly safe. And then he had to go to the hospital for like a week and a half to get like detoxed. And then
fine. You just have to go to the hospital after.
and then he started, I don't know if it was related, but he had like some like weird like muscular or skeletal thing where he was a little disabled, and he built this
Probably related.
He built this bizarre invention. It was like a system of like pulleys to like help himself get out of bed because he was determined to not have help, and he ended up strangling himself to death with it by accident. Yeah, so he's killed by his own invention, which is the way I think every mad scientist wants to go out.
Lead's a neurotoxin, and one side effect is hallucination. So I wonder if he was having like a freak out of some kind.
And then he hung himself accidentally.
Just got, like he's in a spider web or something.
You just said that he rubbed lead all over himself, right?
Yeah.
He's got it all up on his temples.
He was trying to-
like,
Isn't that how you take Jimson weed?
He was trying. Oh my God, Jimson weed.
Right, you put it on your temple,
Datura,
right?
your temples,
It's a
yeah.
topical drug.
Yeah,
Right.
and it
Hence
fucks you.
my
It's
reference.
not even a hallucinogen. It's a deliriant, right? Or deliritant.
Oh, what's the difference between those?
I think the difference is that most hallucinogens you're able to like rationalize. You understand that you're hallucinating usually.
Oh, okay. Delirium
Whereas
is
like
the opposite.
severe
Just,
deliriance,
like, out of it.
So severe deliriance, it seems 100% real to you, and the part of your brain that's able to be like, whoa, maybe this is a hallucination is just gone. That shit's over.
This is real life.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, this is just happening now. So anyway,
That's insane. The
So that's-
differentiation there.
Thomas Midgley Jr. and deliriance and covered a lot of ground.
Is it weird? Is it weird that gas stations are still advertising their gasoline as non-leaded?
It's unleaded. Or to a point, right? There's still lead in gas, right?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I think it's like unleaded. Isn't maybe I'm totally wrong on this. Isn't the number how unleaded it is?
It's the octane.
yeah, that's not. That's
Okay,
not
maybe
right.
I'm off on that.
And I don't know what that means, but it's the octane.
That is the octane.
I know the higher number is the more.
Look this up. Let's look it up.
That has-
Is there still lead in
Octane was
gasoline?
the
I thought there was
the made up
Google
gas
this.
company that they put on Lego sets.
I could be totally wrong,
at
but
a gas station
I thought there was still
or
lead
a
in-
race car.
I thought
There's
that. I mean,
advertisements
similar.
on
I
it.
don't think so.
Wasn't
you
it
might
Citgo?
be totally right.
Okay, lead
Citgo's a
used
real
to be added to
company.
Oh yeah,
gasoline.
that's Venezuelan.
I have a
gas.
Citgo hat.
So what's used now in order
red.
to not knock?
Venezuela.
Don't know.
Is it ethanol? it is ethanol.
I think it is ethanol.
Well, I don't know if they're
Okay.
using ethanol for that, but I'm sure they have. I mean,
Well,
all
so-
the
so they're-
stabilizers.
No,
are the same.
They're-
I think ethanol is that's what I'm thinking of. Is the rating? I don't know. Let's look this up.
There are a couple.
Octane.
Or
Think
no,
octane.
maybe
Octane is the
ethanol
rating.
is the wrong thing. It's the corn shit. It's corn ethanol, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I think what I'm thinking of is the E85. 85 represents the percentage that is
okay.
is either ethanol or
So there are a couple of reasons why they add ethanol to gasoline, I think, if I remember correctly. One is that like a small amount of it's good. It prevents engine knock. But two, I think that they cut more than they need to into the gasoline because of corn subsidies. So
They do.
it's cheap to
yes.
produce ethanol.
And it actually damages your engine though, because it's very gummy. Like when it.
So it's not only bad for your
talking about
engine,
ethanol?
but it's bad for the world because it takes more energy to produce ethanol than you get out of it.
yeah, you're talking about E85, right?
This is
Yeah.
what I was talking about. E85 is it's the 85 is the percentage of ethanol to gasoline. So it's 85% ethanol versus 15% gasoline.
But
I
that's
was getting that
But the
confused with
octane number. So octane number is a figure indicating the anti-knock properties of fuel based on a comparison with a mixture of isoctane and
what-
heptane.
Octane.
What is anti-knock? Is that how
isooctane?
like lubricative it is?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how they measure anti-knock.
Yeah, it is some form
Is
of
knocking
a
season?
ratio still then. Yeah. So octane number is
But in any case, yeah, ethanol is actually like some really bad shit. Like
It is,
as
yeah.
far as like the reasons why we put so much of it in gasoline, it's mostly based around this like shitty corn subsidy that probably shouldn't
Yeah,
exist anymore.
agriculture is surprisingly shady.
That's the reason why we have high fructose corn syrup and everything instead of sugar.
We
Yeah.
grew up with this impression of farmers being this noble thing. You know,
No,
it's very-
farmers
it's like
farmers now are like Monsanto.
it's honest hard work, right? Is the perception.
It still can be.
But these guys like monopolize and organize in a certain way that they become very powerful.
Yeah, it's although union and stuff.
and they really take advantage of that.
Like
concept too.
that sugar article that did I tell you about that?
no.
It came out in the New York Times like last year or something like that. It was about how like 20 years ago or something, the big sugar industry paid for bad research through it was like Harvard or something.
yeah, it was some big
They-
organization.
They were
that does
studying
research.
heart disease and its dietary correlatives, and they pinned it on fat.
Oh, right.
When all the evidence actually pointed towards sugar.
I've heard a little bit
But
about
they
it.
had such a monopoly on it that they were
Well, they just had a ton of money.
Well,
And they
that kind of
bribed these
spurred
scientists.
the whole low fat movement.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why cholesterol and fat has such a bad rap. Is it all starts kind of there.
Yeah.
So finally, in the information age, we're coming out of that.
We're finally cutting through all this shit.
a little bit at a time though.
Pot's,
It's
pot's
funny how
not
having
bad
the
for you.
information isn't enough to
Homosexuality's
fix people.
fine. Sugar is not good.
There's a lot of stuff.
Fat
that's
is
just,
not bad.
It's ingrained in us from when we're kids. You know, even now I find like I know something is not true that I once believed, yet I will still
Yeah.
come back to it and go, But I have this like nagging feeling in the back of me that's
Yeah.
saying like, oh,
We
I
get
shouldn't do
programmed.
this thing. I
We
shouldn't
totally
have
get programmed.
fat.
Well, it doesn't help that if you're called fat if you're
Sure. Well, there,
Unhealthy.
I call people carb now.
there should
Look how carb that bitch is.
there should be a differentiation between lipids and fat too, because like
Is there?
I don't think there's a difference.
there's not really a difference. I mean more in the sense of like socially saying, hey, that person's fat, whereas like
Yeah.
realistically, fat doesn't actually.
They do
at all
have more
correlate.
fats.
They
They
don't
do
actually
have more
correlate.
fats.
Sure, they have more fat, but it's not. Fat isn't produced
So
by
if you're
fat.
calling someone fat,
Fat is
it
produced
can
by
be.
carbohydrates.
Well, but
Not
here's
always.
here's the important thing. You get alliteration. You can call someone a fat fuck. If you call them a lipid fuck, it doesn't really roll off the tongue as
It
well.
has a nice ring to it.
Actually,
Lazy lipid
you
fuck.
lipid fuck. That kind of sounds a little like it sounds mean.
carbohydrate cunt.
You carb cunt. I like it. I like it.
Some little Jeff.
I know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The guy who said hell last year for the first time.
Yeah.
Jody, you can email your complaint to Jake.
Yeah, that was definitely Jake.
at babblelabpodcast.com.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Bad
I actually need to create that email.
and
address.
Yeah, people are gonna need that.
Jake is a bad influence.
How could I have possibly known that my warm up?
You are a bad influence on people.
Am I?
I think you are.
In some ways, I'm good where it matters.
I
encourage people to have good, lucrative careers. You know.
Is that where it matters?
Get that paper. Don't be fulfilled. Just bring home the money.
Yeah.
Because money equals
Wait,
happiness.
that's not fulfillment.
This is a whole different topic. I mean, this is what Jake and I talk about a lot. It's because I think he believes part of it makes sense. You know, they always say money can't buy happiness. I just read a study that's saying
But
like
it doesn't
money
not buy happiness.
Money actually can buy a certain level of happiness.
a level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just get diminishing returns on it.
Exactly.
And I think
Exactly.
having a certain amount of money where you don't have to worry about basic things can really enhance your happiness.
Yeah.
You can buy your
sure.
way out of most forms of unhappiness. I think. You can't directly
Sure.
buy happiness, but if something's making you unhappy, most problems you can just chuck money at until they go away.
Unless the problem is like I don't know.
Unless the problem is
I don't
you.
unless the problem is like I don't have a purpose in life.
I think a lot of what sometimes drives the wealthiest people is they don't have that self-satisfaction and they got to keep going at it. They have this like workaholic mentality.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how you
What's
get
the
there.
next thing?
Oh yeah.
Right.
A lot of
They
times
always
they're
strive for the next
Yeah.
thing.
They're never satisfied.
Right.
No matter what they do.
I just know that if I don't die on a yacht, I'm gonna be really upset. Did I tell you guys I figured out how I plan on dying?
You know, you can do that for like $30.
Just rent a yacht.
Yeah.
You can just like go
I don't
to
think you rent a
Catalina
yacht for
It's-
$30.
No, but you
Express.
can
You can
get
be on one.
like a sunset cruise
Yeah.
on a yacht
And then
for
shoot
like
yourself.
$30.
Well, but the way I want to
Don't
do
shoot
it,
yourself.
I want to be in a position where I'm the only person on the yacht, and I'm gonna hit the throttle so it starts going.
How bloody you want to get?
I'm gonna hit the throttle so it's going out into the ocean, and then I'm
I thought
gonna
you were going
OD.
to say towards land.
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
would go
OD
towards
on
land.
on like
If you're going to
heroin.
kill yourself.
Yeah, I would
No,
hang
because I
myself
wanna make
from
it-
the yard arm like a scarecrow.
Are you going to like put it out towards the ocean?
I wanna
full
make it-
throttle and kill
Put up
yourself
a sign
way?
that says "Pirates
I'm
be
gonna kill
warned," and then
myself
hang
while it's
yourself.
driving. And what it's gonna do is
you
it's gonna
don't
make
care where
it
it's
it's
going.
gonna make it really hard to retrieve because it's gonna run out of gasoline out in the middle of the ocean, and it's gonna be like a
How
huge
does it
pain in
make
the
it hard to
ass.
retrieve?
Well, they're gonna
Just go get it and tow it back.
oh yeah, I forget
just
you
go
can
get
tow
it.
things on water.
it's
You
really
could
easy.
pick it up with a
You know
helicopter.
what? Fuck you, Jeff. This is my dream, and
You
you're
just
shitting,
go get it.
You're shitting all over my dreams of inconveniencing people.
Actually, it'll probably just like wash to some shore at some point.
All right,
It's not
all
gonna be
right.
in the middle of the
You know what
ocean.
you do is you take
Fuck
the
it, we're
transponder.
sinking it. We're sinking the fucking
But
thing.
you sink it away from your transponder, right? You throw that shit overboard and you go another day.
That's smart. No, that's smart.
That's smart.
That's what that Malaysian flight did.
I don't think so.
That's why they did it. This guy just wanted to go out with style.
When Putin finished slashing the throat of the last pilot, he just threw the transponder over his shoulder out the window and steered it into the sunset.
Putin, if you're listening, that's Jeff at babblelabpodcast.com. So you want to go out on a yacht?
I think I want to die of a drug overdose on a yacht.
Have you ever been on a
I
yacht?
want
I've
to
never
get
been on a yacht.
decapitated on the
How do you
Schlitterbahn.
even know-
That's how I want to go.
I
How do
think
you-
based on Jake's clothing,
How do you even know you?
I
would
would
have
have guessed that
on a yacht?
actually.
You've never been on a yacht.
I've been
that
on
true?
other boats.
You're a fucking fraud.
He's
You've
never been on a yacht.
Look at you.
He's never been on a
You
yacht.
poser.
He's never on a
Hey.
yacht.
Does a
Hey,
cruise ship count
I'm
as
not
a
a
large
poser.
yacht?
I'm an enthusiast.
No? Is that just okay? It's
I
just
think a
cruise
yacht
ship.
has a implication of
It's like a
private
mid-size.
ownership.
I don't know a single. I don't know
There's
anyone
a
who owns a
standard
yacht.
of crew member. On
I
a
don't.
yacht,
I don't.
right?
I
You
don't
have to draw
know
a line.
anyone who owns.
Is
it. Oh
Carnival
no, I do.
publicly
I do
owned?
know of one yacht.
Or a private company.
Private. I think
Yachts are privately
in
owned,
some
I
third
believe.
world country is where
Yeah,
we're
but I'm
at.
saying it's Carnival a publicly owned company. Therefore, it would be private.
It's not an American company.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not. It's definitely not an American company.
No, I get that, but I'm saying it still could be public.
Are they not American?
Just because it's not the Public of
You
America.
can be an American company.
Do you think you can go on a 3-day cruise for $200 in an American company and have people wait on you and eat for free
Yes.
the whole time? No,
and
they're not paying the minimum wage.
The reason I think
we were
that,
talking about
no, I
this
know
last
they're not
time,
paying a
but-
minimum wage. The reason I think that is I think the wages are governed by where the boat is ported at.
Yeah, exactly. That's what.
I don't think it's governed
That's
by
what
like
we-
where the company is incorporated. I think it's governed by the boat
Really?
itself.
So while they're in Long Beach, they get their $12 an hour.
well, maybe they have to pay them. But
I think
but
it's
no,
like where their initial port is, not where
Yeah,
they stop.
yeah, no,
So like if it's based out of,
it's based out of Nassau, Bahamas, the boat
Yeah,
we were on.
pretty much.
It says it on the
oh,
boat,
as
the
a
life
company.
rafts.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
There's a Carnival Corporation and PLC is an American-British cruise company and the world's largest.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the boats themselves. They're
It's
governed by
headquarters
maritime
in
law.
Southampton.
Oh,
so
so-
they port. They say the boat is registered.
Oh, it's like
to
where
this
you're
place.
registered to. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is listed on the New York Stock
So
Exchange
whatever
and London
state
Stock
is on the ship's license plate,
Yeah, like
Yeah,
register your
basically,
money
yeah.
in the Caymans.
Got
you
it.
know? That kind of thing.
or what was that island?
Nassau,
Vanuatu.
Bahamas. Oh, Vanuatu.
Vanuatu. Yeah.
Hey, there's actually a pretty sweet watch that I've been looking at called the Helm Vanuatu. It's a nice looking dive watch. That's how I first got into
It
this.
makes sense because they dive a lot there, right?
How many
Yeah.
watches do you have, Jake?
I don't know, like 15.
I have none.
You have none?
Well, my phone tells the time actually.
Oh, what?
Yep.
Could you
That's
please
a
tell me
thing?
more about
Your
that
phone?
technology? I've
Wait,
never
your
heard of
phone tells the time.
Yeah, right up top. There's four.
I have this
There's 3 to
thing-
4 numbers at the top.
It's a-
and
it's
those
a-
correlate to the time of day.
Complicated system of springs and gears that does it.
So archaic.
How does your
sounds-
phone tell the time? Like when you're talking
One of
to
those
it, it
sounds
tells you
far
the
more
time?
accurate.
No, it just displays.
No,
it.
you have to call a number.
That makes sense. Okay, so you
it
pick-
1-800
You go,
time?
You call the operator.
I didn't say it was
Operator,
more
what
convenient.
time is it, sir?
Do tell me the time.
Do you guys ever remember operators?
No.
I remember 411.
I think I was the last
Do
generation.
you
maybe.
actually
I've
call an
called
operator
411
Yeah,
before.
I've dialed 0 before and talked to a person.
to connect you to someone?
Yeah.
But
And
wasn't
what? No. What
No,
year
for,
was that?
For collect. That's what you
It
did.
was 1920.
Oh, I think
Jeff's
I've done
actually
that before.
super
Yeah,
fucking
that was
old.
around.
It's like the 80s or the 90s.
When
yeah.
you use a payphone, dial an operator.
Yeah, you like dial
Yeah.
0, dial
Yeah,
an
yeah, I've done
operator,
that
and
before.
then you can like ask information.
No, that was 411.
Ask them how they're doing.
Oh yeah, that's
411 is the app.
Ask them what they're wearing.
Hey,
While you're doing nipple
yes, I'd like
torture
some
with
information.
pliers.
you sound busy.
How are you?
No, I was imagining like a beeping noise.
But you didn't ask. You,
No,
didn't,
but
you,
I
didn't,
was-
you didn't have to.
I was asking
You
information.
didn't have
I
to call the
called for
operator to make a
information.
call. You didn't have to make. You didn't. There was a time where you had to.
I'll tell you this: like
Yeah, they had
a couple years
physical
later,
switchboard.
Yeah.
a couple years later, a big industry was it was like 3 companies that their service was collect calls.
Yeah,
I get that.
Yeah.
Like 1-800 collect, and there
I
was
get
a
that.
few other
Sure.
ones. Yeah,
But
They
there,
had
I'm
Carrot
talking
Top.
about when I
Before
say
that,
operator,
They
was
had
0.
fucking Carrot Top.
no. When I say operator,
Yeah. They had the 1-800
like a mark of success?
CAL,
Is
ATT, or
Yeah,
yeah,
Carrot
you're
Top.
talking about before phone numbers to
Yeah.
be like, yeah, hello there, connect me to call.
yeah, and they're like, okay, and they like actually unplug the wire and
Yeah,
then plug it into the
yeah.
right wire, and then
Right.
listen to your conversation
No,
and
this-
gab about it later.
I think this is how
Masturbate.
we went about collect calls or something else.
How much do you think phone operators just masturbated to women who sounded hot?
I think most
Or
of the-
men, if they were
I think
gay.
most of the phone operators were women.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, women don't masturbate. Clearly.
Not a single one. It's actually impossible.
Yeah. Yeah, how would they do it? They don't have a
Parents will
penis.
Never hear one of these.
No, they won't.
I sure hope mine don't.
No.
Damn it,
Well, my
Mine
dad
will.
probably could handle this.
easily.
So I think we covered a good slew of topics there.
Yeah, I think Jake needs a Prop 65 label.
He needs more than a proxy by label. He needs a very specific.
He for sure causes birth defects.
I mean, sometimes I'm
Hey,
trying
what's the
to.
difference between birth defects and reproductive health? Is like reproductive
Harm.
health like STDs?
harm.
Oh, harm. Okay.
Other reproductive harm. So that could also be
those
like your
different?
sperm count gets lowered.
You know, it just says other reproductive harm. So yeah.
So
Yeah,
essentially,
that makes sense. Sperm count.
this gives you very specific information.
Oh, like something can make you sterile.
yeah,
Got it.
that makes sense.
So like this always gives you very concise.
But it doesn't.
it tells
There's
you
no information there.
tells you.
I
Exactly.
would love some more information on Prop 65.
No, if you go to Disneyland, you might
So,
get cancer.
like,
that's the
I-
most.
They made that sign look, but seriously though, if you didn't speak any English, wouldn't that sign look so appealing?
Yeah, it's a cute sign.
It's a really cute sign. It's well painted. It's got that orange, dark green.
Here's McDonald's. Look,
You,
this is-
you go there, you're like, what does this mean? This looks. Is this a good thing? And then that one looks like a fucking tombstone. That one's a little less.
well, it's appropriate.
Oh.
They're saying you will get cancer if you go to Disneyland.
Yeah, that makes a little more sense.
100% of people who've gone to Disneyland have gotten cancer.
So
Yeah.
I work in marketing, and a big thing is when you write something, there's this undertone of when someone reads this, what do I want them to do?
Get cancer.
I want them
with
to not
these
sue me.
signs.
not that?
I want to know the answer to that question. I read this
I
sign.
want them to not sue me.
I don't think it's-
What do you expect?
Yeah, to not sue me.
I expect them to not be able to take me to
No,
court successfully.
these signs are literally.
I don't think
they
these
were
are-
designed to be as unnoticeable as possible.
Yeah.
They don't want anyone to read these signs.
Yeah.
They just have to put them up.
Right. Yeah, I think you said it best. If everything's labeled, nothing's labeled.
No,
Yep.
no. And
These
they're like-
also aren't marketing signs. They might be put into that lens. Like
Well,
Cole just said.
no, it's communication.
Sure.
Right.
It's communication and the result of we don't want them to see
It's
them.
communication instead like we have it there behind a bush and
It's so futile.
yeah.
Yeah.
How
don't-
much money is wasted on these?
Yeah, and in products that people buy across this. I mean, I literally when I was buying, how this topic even came up when I was buying these microphone pop filters, people on Amazon were saying, in the box it came with a label that said this might cause cancer. I'm giving it 1 star, and then people had to like respond to that, and they're like, it's just like a thing. It's like,
Yeah.
and then
Wait, I thought you said these are the anti-cancer.
I know. So then the company reformulated their shit so people wouldn't get the wrong idea that these were causing cancer.
Or they
They,
wouldn't. get
these
the
these
right- the
actually
wrong
cure cancer.
There's no way to prove that, but there's no
There's
way.
no way to disprove it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Except, through rigorous scientific testing.
Well, the FDA has a cure for it already.
You can't disprove it to people who think that, that it's,
Yeah,
the thing.
it's an alternate truth, right?
Yeah,
Alternate
alternative
fact.
facts. Yeah.
This is my truth.
What was the I keep hearing that comment, and I'm in one of those situations where I've heard about this thing.
It was
At this
it was
point, I'm
that
too
it
afraid
was
to ask.
that blonde bimbo that Trump had.
No, was it?
Patrick
fought
Stewart?
around
No, it wasn't.
eating his ass. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, Kellyanne Stewart.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was.
No, it was the
Oh, Patrick Conway.
the
was-
education lady.
I thought it was Spice
No,
Man.
it wasn't DeVos. It was before that because
It wasn't
she
Nancy DeVos?
She's the one that it was the other blonde.
No, I thought
the
it was
blonde-
Kellyanne
It
Conway.
wasn't Spicer.
Yeah, Kellyanne Conway.
Okay.
Yeah, Kellyanne Conway.
I thought it was Spicer who said it. In a
Let's just look it up.
All right, I'm gonna look it up.
Information age.
alternative facts origin.
I think I get what she's saying, though. I think.
Yeah,
It's like you-
a phrase used by U.S. Counselor to the President Kellyanne Conway during the Meet the Press interview on January 22nd.
What's the context? What did she say it to?
I don't remember. I think the thing, just from my memory, was oh, here we go.
She used the phrase alternative facts to describe demonstrable falsehoods. This is why you don't trust Wikipedia.
God damn it.
Was widely mocked on social media and sharply criticized by journalists and media organizations.
That wasn't
So it was-
wrong.
Okay, but what was she
Kellyanne
Demonstrable
Conway's
falsehood.
use of the
Oh, her
phrase
use of the
alternative
phrase.
facts to
Oh.
describe. Yeah, no, that was grammatically correct.
I'm the idiot. This is why you don't trust me.
or Wikipedia. This is why you don't trust fucking Prop 65 warnings.
Because people will start with a
Sure.
fact and then draw a conclusion,
Right.
and then say like, "Well, my conclusion is a fact," because the facts I drew it from were facts.
Is that what you meant it as?
Yeah, when
I'm
pressed
guessing.
during an
Demonstrable
interview with Chuck
falsehoods
Todd
is
to
a
explain
better-
why Spicer uttered a provable falsehood, Conway stated that Spicer was giving alternative facts. She's just a fucking dumbass.
She's really good at
We're
spinning
reading
things.
it. No, she's not though, because it's anyone
That's
who's
not good spin.
not literally retarded is like that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
All right, you want to watch Spicer?
No.
Yesterday, at a time when our
don't.
nation and the world was
Oh my
watching
God.
a peaceful transition of power. And as the president said, the transition and the balance of power from Washington to the citizens of the United States. Some members of the media were engaged in deliberately false reporting. For all the talk about the proper
I
use
hate
of
this.
Twitter,
You gotta
two
turn this
instances
prick off. I
yesterday
can't.
stand out.
McCarthy looks good these
One
days.
was a particularly egregious example in which a reporter falsely tweeted out that the bust of Martin Luther King Jr. had been removed from the Oval
Look how
Office.
mad he's getting.
Okay, so is that the fact that the bus got removed?
Did it get removed or not?
I don't know.
I'm not sure. I don't know enough.
We
about-
never know. It's not
It
demonstratively.
doesn't fucking matter.
I know during the Trump inauguration, they were taking a lot of that stuff out of context. For instance, like when he was taking pages down from like the whitehouse.org or whatever, like he took down the
EPA stuff.
Yeah, the EPA stuff, his gay rights initiatives, all that stuff. But every administration takes down the website
Oh.
every time
Sure.
and puts up their own pages.
Right, right,
yeah.
right.
The biggest thing with this election is that it's the same dipshits on every side of it. You know, it's either dipshits that are liberal or dipshits that are conservative, and no matter what,
not-
they're
they're not
gonna
even-
make fucking stupid arguments.
That's not the right classification. They're not liberal and conservative. They're all authoritarian right. They all believe very closely the same thing. We just have this very narrow view of political thought in this country that if they're on a grand scale like 2% different, we think like, oh, he's radically different from that person within our own little window. Right. If you look at the political compass, where the two axes is like if your economics is left right, communism,
Or libertarian.
capitalism.
Yeah.
And then up down, your y-axis is authoritarianism, liberalism, meaning how you go about enacting your economic policies.
they're both somewhere in that upper right.
They're all in the
quadrant.
top right, authoritarian capitalists. Yeah, they're all right next to each other. In fact, Clinton was closer to Romney than Trump was, which I thought was really interesting. And all those people were
Wasn't that why Romney got like grilled when he was doing it? He wasn't like quote unquote Republican enough when he was running.
Well, yeah, he was a northeastern Republican, right?
Yeah.
So he had this liberal tone
Yeah, but
to
at
him.
least
that a
he
lot of
wasn't
people
a woman.
Perceived.
No, that's what happened this time. They're like, well, I'm not going to vote for a woman.
I don't think that's true.
I think
It
it's
is for
related.
some people.
It is
to
for
do
some
it.
people. It may be hard to understand here, but I think it is true.
I think
for some people,
as we get more access to more information, we see through what's really going on with politics, and we see
Apparently not.
like we're being lied to all the time.
Hey,
people do.
if you
And-
search
and
if you search
Trump
the word
represented
cunt
a
on
departure from
Google,
that. It wasn't
Hillary
it?
Clinton is one of the top results for images.
Just
thought I'd throw that out there.
All the
I don't agree with
collusion,
it.
All the lying. It was just such a turnoff because it was more of what we've had since Nixon, all the way up.
and
every
now
single
it's
guy.
more. Now it's the same.
Right.
This guy's
So
like
people
super
aren't really good at seeing through it. Apparently,
You
No,
should
people
be
are
able
fucking.
to.
This all goes
people
back to my
don't.
shit. You can't trust voters to make a goddamn decision. They can't do anything
what's the
right.
better-
They're
what's the better
fucking
solution?
morons.
But are they-
Kill everyone. We exterminate all humans.
Jake at the Babble Lab podcast.
Human extinction, and it's just deer and shit fucking in the woods forever.
But do you think people are actually making a choice if we put Trump and Clinton in front of you?
I don't think people
Is
are
that a
capable of
choice?
making a choice because making a choice implies that they've had thought involved.
Well, I think it being an
I think they're just
either
doing
or
a thing.
is a problem. If it's 1 out of 2 that you're picking from, I think the preferential voting. You guys know about that, where you can take multiple candidates.
Oh, yeah.
And you can rank them.
Sure.
Yeah.
So if my number 1 guy doesn't get picked, that you then transfer my
default to the
vote to
next
my
vote.
number 2
Right,
guy.
right.
Yeah. So you can feel okay about voting for these third-party candidates first, and not worrying about tipping the vote.
Right.
you
If
know,
all of a
the-
sudden
the
these
main
people
part
are
of the
getting nowhere
election.
near the right amount of votes, all of a sudden you can switch yours.
The
to-
problem
Right.
is that's really good, but it requires more than like 2 seconds of explanation for most people. You can't convince people that's right.
You might be right, but it's worth it.
So the masses need to just be just mass extermination.
I don't
Just-
think that's on the table.
You know the bad guy from Moonraker?
Oh, it was on the
That guy
table.
had his shit figured out. That's my chief problem with that movie.
You
is that
bring all the
bad
hotties
guy-
to the moon.
The bad guy was he brought all the
This is getting
Olympians.
into dangerous territory because
and
I'm
the
pretty sure that was an
scientists.
allegory for like Nazi.
No, it wasn't.
Eugenics in general.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Holocaust was real?
You know how they made sure that it wasn't was because like half the people were black. So
Okay,
on his space
Checkmate.
station, yeah,
Obviously not.
it was
the Holocaust.
merit based. It
I
wasn't.
think that was the movie making sure they covered their ass.
It was merit based in his
Do you,
system.
do you think
How
though
do I
that
make sure this doesn't get
like
related?
I
to
definitely
Nazi
grant
Germany?
that a lot of people are uninformed, and do you think part of it is that the system is so clearly rigged and toxic that people disassociate themselves from it? They slot into geological time and they say, I'm just going to kind of ride this out and do my own thing and not participate as much.
yeah.
Or also, do you think people are more informed now than ever also because of the internet
there's
and
a lot
access
of
to
apathy.
information?
There was
You can't
horrible
lie as
turnout.
easily
There's
now.
horrible turnout for this election.
Right.
Like there always is. Young people don't vote.
Maybe not apathy,
Old
more
people,
like jaded,
old
right?
people
Fatigue.
get to vote, and their votes should be worthless because they're going senile. Fucking people in like Wisconsin
All right,
are worth
all
like
right.
3 Californians.
Okay,
it's
hold
all
on.
fucked.
But this
the whole
goes-
thing is fucked.
We have to reground you. We have to reground you.
All right, but this
You're gunning
goes-
off the handle.
Go ahead, Joe.
This goes back to what you were saying before, is that when we have labels that cover everything, all of a sudden they cover nothing.
Right.
So when we have so much information that we don't know what is misinformation, it's
Yeah.
really hard to sort through. So we end up learning things that we think are truth, and we end up with phrases like alternative facts.
Yeah. You get populist thought too because the only stuff that rises to the top is voted to be there. Like Reddit works this way, right? Like if
Of
you go to
course,
the front
yeah.
page, it's what everyone has. Instead of like voting for, this was credible and a very good point. It's like,
Right.
I agree with this.
But you don't even know if the votes that they're coming from are real.
True.
Yeah.
Those might
Yeah.
be fake.
And that was all the
manipulating.
fake news initiative. That was the whole,
Alternative votes.
that was
alternative
that was
votes,
people
fake
writing
news.
that just
Tweet bots.
was
Fake
supposed like
reviews.
Yeah.
as long as you get enough in front of enough people, the fake becomes the real.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people,
Yeah, I guess it's because we still have like our new limited resource. It's not like oil anymore. It's people's attention. That's what companies are fighting for and spending all the money on. Is we only have so much bandwidth.
Sure.
How do I get my ad in front of you? How do I get my information in front of you? Because you're consuming all day, and there's so many different ways to
Right.
consume stuff.
Right.
But what's still limited is time and attention. So they throw noise. Yeah.
What sticks?
What's dicks?
Sticks.
What sticks?
sticks.
They said what's
For
What
the
is
record, I
dicks?
actually do think democracy is a good system.
It's the worst system except for all the others. Is that how it was described? Or
No,
was
it's
that was
basically
capitalism?
it's basically they're all terrible. People
what?
people are inherently awful. But
We're not
but
supposed to
what-
be
what can you do?
democratic. You guys
What
know
can you
that,
do?
right? Democracy is actually not a great idea because 51%
well, yeah,
of the
we're,
people can vote to do something shitty.
Well, we're
to
a
49%
republic
of the
and not
people.
a democracy, right?
Yeah. So the idea of a republic is you agree on certain principles of behavior in civil society, and then you structure your laws around that agreement. So it doesn't matter if the popular vote changes to like, you know what? Black people shouldn't be able to drink in my fountain anymore. Just because 60% of you think that doesn't mean it's a law anymore. That's like democracy will do that.
I mean, what? That's
Power in numbers. Of
Right.
And yet,
The popular kids at high school get to pick on.
here we are.
God, that was
Great point.
so amazing.
And yet,
Babylon.
All right.
Is that episode 2?
I think that's
it's episode 2.
books. Babylon.